Due to all the different circumstances we've faced thus far in 2020, has your silver stacking strategy changed? Well, mine has, so please stay tuned. Stacking Cat. Hello YouTube, and welcome to the Stacking Kat channel, where I talk all things silver with a little bit of gold, and thank you so much for watching. I greatly do appreciate it. So I'm going to jump right into this video. As you can see, I have some tubes laid out, some gold laid out, and I want to get into the year 2020 from a stacking perspective. So suffice to say, 2020 is going to be one for the history books. We're just at the early part of July right now, so we're only halfway through the year, and we've seen a lot of change across the globe. We're experiencing a global pandemic. We're kind of on the verge of an economic depression. So there's been a lot of push, a lot of talk about investing in precious metals. However, there have been some variables that have kind of changed the game a little bit. A little bit of a paradigm shift, if you will. I think one thing we found out is that premiums, as they relate to the price of silver, the market price of silver and gold for that matter, have skyrocketed. And why is this? Of course, there's been supply chain interruptions. We've had silver mine closures, gold mine closures across the globe. We have seen the difference, the vast disparity between the paper market and the physical market. And that has leaked into what we like to do, and that is stack precious metals. One of the main concerns has been that we're entering an economic depression of sorts, or we're really on the verge of that. And so a lot of the safe money ends up jumping into things like gold and silver. However, due to the premiums and other issues, the demand without as much supply has led to a bit of a difference in opinion, or at least a difference in strategy for me, for example, when it comes to stacking these precious metals. We've seen, I'll put up on the board, just the last 6 months of silver and gold, their market prices. We've seen a low in the middle of March, on March 13th, in silver of $11.94. And now we're currently experiencing a high for the year in 1883. Now in gold, on March 13th, we've saw a low of 1,471.4. And now we're seeing a high of 1,810.1. So you would think with those dips that the price of silver, the price of physical silver, really would have dipped as well, that it would have been a lot easier to purchase things like American Silver Eagles. Really the backbone, the foundation of a lot of our stacks are these American Silver Eagles. Most of us stack them out there. However, due to different supply chain disruptions, and of course the mines being closed, and a few other variables such as distribution, the U.S. Mint having to close down for a brief period, has led the price of these especially to skyrocket. I'll put up on the screen right now some of the different prices that we see in these American Silver Eagles. And I'm going to put some of the online bullion dealers just because that's kind of the easiest place to go, right? To find out what the price is, what the market price of this physical silver is going to be. It's a lot harder to get a local coin shop perspective because they're all different across not only the country, but across the world. So let's look at APMEX, which is universally recognized as probably the premier online bullion site. As you can see, the prices are still really high. We have silver at $18.83, which is a pretty high price for silver. At least within the realm of the past few years, the past 5 or 6 years, for that matter. And you see, even if you buy a monster box of 2020s, you're spending $26.18. If you're buying a monster box of random year, it's $25.29. So you're not really even getting a bulk discount. And then if you just want to buy a few, $27.68 for the 2020s and 26.79 for the random years. So you're still paying, $8-9 over spot for these things, which has really changed a lot of people's strategy, including my own. When I came into 2020, I made a video where I wanted to kind of talk about what I wanted to stack, what my plan was going to be, my goals, which are always great to have, especially when you have money on the line, you have investments on the line, you're saving for the future, you're saving for an SHTF situation, whatever it may be. It's always good to have goals that you want to focus on. So one of them was going to be to stack a lot of American Silver Eagles. As you can see, I have 3 tubes sitting out here, but I've only been able to stack 2.5 tubes of Eagles, which might actually be pretty good considering the times we're in. Now, luckily, I got this 2020 tube. That was the one I was just showing you before all this happened. I had this thing completed by mid to late February, so I was able to get it when it was still under $3 spot. But I had to find a great deal to find this tube. I only bought it because it was a great deal. It was kind of a random needle in a haystack type situation. And here I got a few others that I paid maybe 5 or 6 over spot, and I bought 8 of them. That was just the right purchase. I didn't want to go and spend this $8 or $9 over spot. And here's another website, SD Bullion, same thing. Look at the prices there. $25.48 for 2020s, $25.18 for random years. JM Bullion, $24.81 2020s, any quantity, which is cool. Random year, $25.71, even more. They're just on the 2020s, happen to be on sale. So it's led me to think, what else do I want to stack? Now, Canadian maple leaves were always going to be a target. One of the better coins to stack, just as a foundational piece, universally recognized, highly liquid. The Canadian maple leaf is right up there, in my opinion, with the American Silver Eagle, at least if you're stacking in North America. Now, if you're in Europe, it might be the Britannia, Australia, the Kangaroo. It's all dependent on where you live. However, the Maple Leaf and American Silver Eagle do have that global appeal. I stacked early a tube of Philharmonics, Austrian Philharmonics, which I was able to get at really low prices. I believe it was SD Bullion was running a deal right around the new year for like $1.79 over spot. However, you can see these have milk spotted a little bit, and this is a 2020. Even the maple leaves before 2019, you run into that problem. However, just stacking silver at $2 under spot is just a great deal. But you can't even find these now for anything. If you're lucky, if you come across a great deal, you might be able to find them for, I don't know, maybe $4 over spot. And it's just an industry-wide thing right now that we all have to deal with. So I've made a few adjustments rather than just focusing on, kind of the mainstays just because of the price. The cost per average is just too high. I went and I've just been hunting deals as best I can, whether it's at a coin shop, whether it's online. These Athenian owls put out by Niue. I've found some great deals on these. These pop up every once in a while for, $2.50 to $3 over spot, whether it's on JM or Provident. That seems to be the most common site where you'll find these. And they're 2020s, which is nice. And they're easily stackable. However, when it comes to reselling them, you're just not going to get that same value as you would for the Eagles or the Maples, or probably even the Philharmonics. So one of the main changes I've made, I wanted to go in stacking, this sovereign government bullion, the Eagles, the Maples, Philharmonics, whatever was going to be whatever the best deal was, while also getting some of the funner stuff, which is highly collectible, the koalas, the pandas, those type of items, the Libertads, which I'm a huge fan of. Those also pay off. They're a little more expensive, and they always will be, just because of what they are and kind of the category they were in. But even finding things like Morgan dollars or Peace dollars, which you generally were able to find for a few dollars over spot in the past, have gone through the roof in price. So it's kind of picking and choosing your battles, picking and choosing the right times to buy things. And that's really what it's turned into. There's just much greater of a focus that needs to be paid attention to. So then the question becomes, what else have I done? And that was move on to gold. Now, at the beginning of the year, I was focusing on maybe getting an ounce or two of gold, hoping for 3 ounces, depending on what was going to happen with my budget, my financial situation. But I wanted to focus on the eagles, the maples, some of the other stuff, the constitutional, the Morgans, whatever it may be. The prices were just too high, though. And so I decided that gold was a good time to invest in it. Now there's been volatility in the gold market and premiums are higher than usual. However, I just feel gold is a safer investment right now. And it has historically been one of the great indicators of wealth preservation since the beginning of time, really. Since the beginning of human history, gold has always been there. It's always been that key indicator. And with the premiums the way they are with silver, gold is more expensive. This is a 1 ounce gold buffalo, a 2020. Now, I didn't buy a lot of precious metals through March and April because of the reasons that I just laid out. So I had a little bit extra capital to spend, and I bought this 1 ounce gold buffalo, something that I always wanted. It was a good time to get it. However, I'm probably not going to be able to purchase too many 1 ounce items. It's going to be more in the realm of the 1/4 ounce, like this 1/4 ounce eagle, which you could find. Premiums are high on this in certain respects, but hunt eBay, the sites, the online bullion sites, local coin shops, private deals, wherever you feel the most comfortable, and you will find good deals on these 1/4 ounce American gold eagles. One of the favorites among stackers. And I've noticed that this is becoming more of a common theme. A lot of people are moving towards gold. Now it could be a 1/10 eagle. Now I know this is a slabbed PCGS MS70. However, I was able to find this for the same price as I would have paid for just a raw eagle. So deals like that are out there. You see the 1/10 ounce of fine gold. So just hunt for the deals there. Of course, you have some others like your pre-33. I just put a video out on kind of the comparison and difference between the pre-33 gold and the 1/4 ounce American gold eagles, at least in that context, in the 1/4 ounce size. Although this is just a tad below a 1/4 ounce. These are really popular. They could get quite pricey on premiums. However, like I said, just look for those deals. They are out there. Just love this Incuse design. I say it every time I show this coin. This Liberty head is the precursor to that gold eagle. Same thing. Just a beautiful, beautiful coin. I just think the price of gold right now, compared to the price of silver, when you're talking, especially the sovereign government minted silver, the eagles, the maples, the Philharmonics here, it's just too pricey. Here's a British sovereign, which is a little bit less gold than that Indian head and the Liberty head. Not much. Actually did a silver to gold ratio trade for this one. I made a video about that out at Castro Valley Coin. The owner, Greg, gave me a great deal. and the ratio continues to be out of whack. At one point, it got well over 120. Now it's at 96-ish. I don't know how much that even really matters at this point. I know a lot of people out there are going to say, what do you mean it doesn't matter? That's everything. It's the gold to silver ratio. But with the price of premiums, kind of the disconnect between the physical market and the paper market, it's a new time. Plain and simple. Do these old rules still take into effect considering where we are right now? Now, I could be wrong. Things could be back to normal in a few months. To stay optimistic, stay positive. However, it's not really looking that way. Some other things I've been picking up was more of the collectible stuff. So here's a Morgan that I got, just an 1881 S. So San Francisco minted, a MS64. Really beautiful luster there. These aren't just like stacking items only. However, I would argue that all the gold is stackable. There's no, like if it was a graded Liberty head, like a 65 or something, and even that Indian head graded, it's from a grading service, which isn't, it's not that it's not reputable, it's still official and authentic and everything, but the reliability of that, there's really only PCGS, NGC, and maybe a few others. So I take that with a grain of salt. I bought that for the raw price as well. All right, so I just wanted to put this video out because I had to change my 2020 strategy due to all these existential variables. A lot of them we did not see coming. There's been a ripple effect to this pandemic, which has hurt the economy. Now, you can't tell by the stock market. However, kind of the real world economy has been drastically changed. A lot of people are running for precious metals. Supply and demand is still a big issue. I think that's why premiums are staying high, especially with American Silver Eagles. If those premiums come back down, I will be back on the Eagle bandwagon. Until then, I'm just going to be hunting out those deals. Canadian Maple Leafs, there have been some better deals on those as of late. So that's something I'm tending to go towards. I've been working on this tube here for the past few weeks or a month or so. Close to completing it. I'm just waiting on a back order from one of the online sites. None of the ones I've spoken about here today in this video. However, it was a pre-sale item and it's taken much longer than expected. However, the CEO of the company put out an email to everybody who ordered this specific item, letting us know that there were some issues with customs. See, supply chain disruptions everywhere you look. I mean, that's just a really big factor. And remember, I am not a financial advisor by any way, shape, or form. I'm just a guy who likes to stack silver and gold as a savings, as an insurance against inflation, for my future, for the real money value that it carries, the intrinsic value of the precious metal itself. And I just love stacking and collecting it, buying it, looking at it, holding it, talking about it in these videos, all that stuff. However, I digress. All right, so that will wrap it up for this video. I hope I provided a little bit of my perspective on how 2020 has really kind of changed the game in this whole silver stacking world that we live in. And it's just about adapting. These things come up in life. Life is about adapting. And that's what a lot of us have had to do in this case. All right, so if you liked this video and you'd like to see similar videos about silver, then please subscribe and push that notification bell. Smash that like button and leave a comment. Let me know, has your strategy changed? Are you still stacking silver? Have you moved to gold? Am I just being a little bit of an alarmist? Am I not being positive enough? Whatever it is, comment down below. I love to read all the comments. And until next time, this is the Stacking Cat.